Mad Wolf here, and today I'm going to be talking about some issues I've been going through. First and foremost, I am not modding Wolfenstein 3D anymore. I've tolerated a lot with these last couple of releases, including being accused of stealing other people's artwork and copyright violation for mods that were publicly released. Mods that mod a game that made millions of dollars and jump-started a community. Oh no, I'm not being accused by the company. I'm being accused by another modder. I was accused. Not being accused. Some of the other problems I had received were, oh, your concrete looks too boring. It's concrete. That's all there is to say. You want to say concrete is boring? Fine, concrete is boring. But don't expect me to make concrete look like the greatest thing in the world because you think concrete is boring. Other complaints I had received were the game is too hard, levels are too labyrinthine. I really just got to the point, I'm like, basically you guys are complaining about everything and expect me to fix everything and turn it into your game, except I'm not an employee of yours. So I feel I was an artist and my artwork wasn't really appreciated. Issue number 2, ironically, is DeviantArt. DeviantArt is a website that I publicly post my artwork, some of which is essential to my former modding process because I would draw monsters, I would draw conceptual stuff, and I'd integrate that into sprite design and texture design, stuff like that. One of which, actually, one of my first digital paintings from scratch was a scene from Federal Cases Tara Carmichael. It was a famous boss level that I put into the game. Tara is fighting an Apache attack helicopter amidst the rooftops of New York City. And it was one of my first real digital paintings from scratch. I did not have one of these back then. I did not have a bamboo tablet. I did not have, I just used one of those. So, people may not respect my artwork or whatever. I'm still learning. The only backer I have on Patreon right now is a talented artist, and Madeline has been giving me ideas what to do, techniques, shadows, lighting, that sort of thing. Unfortunately, my artwork still isn't getting any views or criticism or anything really, and I kind of feel like originality and creativity isn't what's important. I've noticed a lot of the talented artists are drawing well-known characters. Ilsa from Frozen, Princess Sally from Sonic the Hedgehog, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, and I mean stuff that's not really original. I'm not nitpicking the artists, but it seems like a lot of artists are getting their artwork out there by recreating scenes from games and movies and comic books and that are popular. And I personally don't want to do that. I especially don't want to create not safe for work stuff, or I especially don't want to create hentai, but I don't want to, yeah, I guess that was a better terminology. I don't want to create hentai or porn of, Disney characters, Sonic the Hedgehog, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to sell my artwork out just to make money. I'm not nitpicking the people who do. I'm not nitpicking the people who like that sort of thing. It's just not for me. Unfortunately, it seems like that's what you got to do to get popular now, though. Originality, original characters, original concept, that stuff doesn't really seem to matter. It seems to go back to other people's work. And so DeviantArt, I'm struggling with. Time to play videos, I'm struggling with. That's my next point that I wish to bring up is our videos. In my Red Zone video with Arctic Vixen, one of the things that I brought forward is I want to try to show people cool things that I've experienced. And I've had a lot of experience playing video games. And, I can't say I know a whole lot of people that know of RoboCop versus Terminator. Matter of fact, at my last job, there was a lot of people that saw me playing it and thought, this isn't real. Or they've heard me talk about it, they're like, no, that doesn't exist. That's not real. That can't possibly be a thing. RoboCop versus Terminator can't possibly be a thing. And they saw me playing an emulated ROM on my laptop, and they're like, you had to create this, or you downloaded it, or something. It's not real. Then I pulled up the actual pictures of the Sega Genesis cartridge that I used to own as a kid, and instantly they thought that was the coolest thing they ever seen. I try to show people things that they haven't seen before, things that they might find cool. Red Zone. Growing up, I hated Red Zone, but looking back, playing it, and recently beating it, I'm like, wow, the technology in this game just makes it's impressive for the Sega Genesis. I mean, how could this not been popular? Some people say it's the controls, but honestly, the controls really weren't that bad. I try to show people different things. Cosmos Cosmic Adventure. How many people do you know, personally know of Cosmos Cosmic Adventure? Or Firehawk. Firehawk was another game I used to love playing back in the day. The last couple videos I uploaded, Red Zone, Earthworm Jim, Area 51. Area 51 is the only one that received views, and it's only had one view. I received the suggestion of only focusing on mods, but honestly, I don't want to do that because there's good mods out there of Doom and Wolfenstein 3D and Skyrim, but a lot of them are just boring. A lot of them are just Wolfenstein, Doom, Halo. I mean, it's just levels, or, oh, well, we changed the color of this guard, so he's gray instead of brown. I don't care about stuff like that. I guess I call them, they were called total conversions whenever I started doing them. And Green Arrow, Unsung, Absence, these are really cool Wolfenstein 3D mods. Witching Hour, really great Wolfenstein 3D mods that really stand out. A lot of them, though, are just, it's Wolfenstein. Or it's Wolfenstein trying to be Doom. The Doom mods, I've seen a lot of them, and I'm like, this doesn't feel like anything special. And that's why I don't want to just shoot mods. Because it's like, it's the same thing over and over again. I don't want to do that. I want to do different stuff. I want to show different ideas, give people ideas that they could be like, what if they put that in a modern game? Or what if I put that in one of my mods? But that's not going to happen if people don't view them. And, I do want to share my experiences of, this is a great game. Oh, this is the worst game I've ever played, and I do not want to play this abomination anymore. I do want to share those experiences with people, because I think they're fun experiences. But what's the point of me shooting the video, trying to find some way to properly align this cell phone with that TV screen there, while dealing with a computer which doesn't want to run programs correctly. Doesn't have that strong of a CPU. It's only 2.4 gigahertz, if I remember correctly. It's a dual core, which is good, but it's really not that fast of a CPU. And if you don't understand that kind of speak, you don't understand computer nerd speak. The CPU is essentially the engine of your computer. Um, my CPU, I compare it to a four-cylinder car. Or, well, maybe not. It's a dual core, so yeah, I would say it's a six-cylinder. My laptop, which is inside my backpack, um, I would say it has the CPU of a four-cylinder Saturn. You're not going to be hauling construction stuff in a Saturn, now would you? And, I can't say what people like Nostalgia Critic or Angry Video Game Nerd. I can't say what computer specs they have, but I do know that they put money out for devices such as the FrameMeister and other screen capture devices that could be anything from $50 to over $100. I don't have that kind of income, especially when people aren't backing me up on Patreon. Um, Patreon's an issue because I have done specific perks for Patreon, and people seem to just keep on going, ignoring it. I'm doing what I can to move forward and to provide entertainment, to create original artwork, and I feel ignored on multiple websites, or I feel talked down to and blatantly disrespected and insulted. It's for that reason why I never really got into Doom modding, because when I started out at Doom World, people treated me like crap. I think I was 15 at the time. Same thing with Skyrim. I was just learning the programs. I created a craftable Viking helmet, which at the time I don't know anything about 3D design or anything like that. So I took the Helm of Ingall, which is a horned steel helmet, and people threw a fit saying how it's not historically accurate to Viking. And I'm like thinking, really, dude? Every time you see pictures of Vikings, you know, fantasy speaking, they usually wear horned helmets. Even on my Vikings game that I have on the cell phone, the title screen, the Vikings are wearing these horned helmets, and that's kind of like a signature thing when it comes to the fantasy of Vikings. And if I'm playing a fantasy game like Skyrim, I really don't give a shit what's historically accurate or not, because I'm playing a game where when it's night, you could see other planets in the night sky. And they're essentially closer than the moon is to Earth. So I don't care what's historically accurate in a fantasy game about elves and dragons and etc. etc. But they essentially weren't even saying, hey, this is kind of cool. Because the Helm of Ingall really wasn't that special of an item anyway. And you boosted its value and created a craftable version. No one really went there. They just said, and I just get to the point, I'm like, why am I making stuff again? What is this all about? Because how can I move forward without any help? How can I continue to show interest in creating stuff without any kind of encouragement? How can I continue my interest in artwork or Wolfenstein 3D mods or really any kind of putting work out without any kind of support, especially financial support? On Patreon, I started that as if you support my work, whether it's the reviews, my artwork, my Arctics and my time to play videos, or most importantly my Wolfenstein 3D mods, which I've been a part of that community for 13 years. And in these past several years, I'd say the last 5 or 6, I have received the biggest freaking amount of disrespect I've ever seen. And, I've worked with people, I've made some jokes and teased, and, I've blatantly said in Doom in Team Raycast's Batman versus Bane mod, Batman kind of looked like the Noid. I wasn't serious about that. I was joking around. But when people are all like, "Your concrete texture is too boring. You need to fix it," that doesn't sound funny at all. It just sounds stupid. Um, when I tell people your mod is like Doom, that's a legitimate thing, and there's two ways you can look at it. Um, I don't like Doom. Okay, that's one way you could look at it. Another way you could look at it is, wow, that's pretty good. You're turning Wolfenstein into Doom because Doom is a more advanced engine. I've given my reasons for not liking Doom. I don't like the multiple bobbing. Doesn't make sense that your hands bob and the screen bobs. That is one bobbing Marine that's walking around, and I don't understand how he could aim at anything. That's just one complaint. But anyway, the whole point is, I don't know how I can move forward and really take my work seriously. I don't understand how I can afford a $100 Framemeister. If people are just showing no financial interest. And most importantly, if you guys simply aren't interested in my artwork, my game design, anything like that, well, then why would I bother doing it in the first place? I got other things going on. And if I'm going to get more out of life from my part-time job, which I get $10 an hour at, that's California minimum wage, by the way. So the whole $2 a month Patreon thing, I'm getting paid for 12 minutes. You look at what I've done at Wolfenstein 3D for 13 years. You look at my DeviantArt page. You look at the time to play videos. You look at my reviews. I put well more than 12 minutes of work into any of my projects. So the $2 a month thing is just to show a little bit of support, and I'm not getting it. I got one backer. It's a talented artist named Madeline, and unfortunately one backer isn't enough to do much of anything. So I don't know. I'm at crossroads. I'm at a point where I feel my artisticness, my creative process, just everything. I just feel like I'm at the end of a rope. I see no reason to continue digital painting. I see little reason to continue drawing, short of I should do what I want to do. And that always is the case. But if I'm going to do that, why should I make the extra effort to utilize my internet, which the data bandwidth cap is always exceeded? Why should I put up with getting it uploaded to people, for people to view, for people to enjoy, when quite simply people don't enjoy it? Why should I put that much effort out into making free entertainment, trying to give people cool ideas, when everybody's just like, I don't care? Why should I care if people don't care? I mean, that's where I'm at right now, and, lately, I've been wanting to play more of these. I've been wanting to play more Dreamcast. I've been wanting to play more Sega Genesis. I mean, hell, I just beat Red Zone 20 years after giving the game up as a kid, and hating the game back then. I finally went back and beat it, and looking at the game now, I'm like, I actually enjoy this game. This is pretty cool. This one deserves a modern remake. But much like Red Zone, I feel, much like the company that made Red Zone, I don't feel as though I'm getting the recognition for my hard work that I deserve. And it's just leaving me like, where do I go from here? Why should I continue drawing? Why should I continue writing my book? Why should I continue modding Wolfenstein 3D? If I'm disrespected, if people always want to one-up me or act like their stuff is so much better, I'm sorry, I got news for you. You're not multi-million-dollar corporations releasing stuff for the PlayStation 4. So, that's the cold hard reality of it. You guys want to talk down to me? Well, you're not better than Sega, who, even though they're not releasing systems anymore, they were a strong competitor for Nintendo for a good 15 years. Well, maybe more like 10. I suck at math today. I feel like crap. Anyway, these are my thoughts, and I'm just kind of to the point. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess I'll see how things go and work things out from there. But ultimately, this is how I'm feeling about my work, and it affects you guys because this is, Wolfenstein 3D, my mods. I pushed myself to get stuff released for the players. My DeviantArt page, I pushed to get stuff released to show I'm not just being a lazy bum. And my reviews, I push myself to get stuff released just to give an honest opinion, an honest player's opinion of the games coming out and classic games, and I just try to give people something else to think about, and it's to the point. It's like, why? Because it appears as though no one really wants to think about stuff. No one really wants unique artwork. They want to just see Disney princesses redrawn topless, and whatever floats your guys' boat, that's your thing, but I'm the artist, I'm the creator, and I'm debating what I should create, what I should continue doing, and I have to decide this for myself. It's not up to you. I've asked for your guys' opinion, and it led. I've asked for your guys' opinion with my artwork, with RPG mods, or RPG Maker stuff. I haven't heard anything. The Wolf 3D community, I'm more like, look, this is my work. When I've given people ideas or suggestions, typically it wasn't even jumped on. Usually I keep hearing, oh yeah, it's physically impossible to do. One of which was the Duke Nukem. I suggested making a Duke Nukem 3D mod, and everyone was like, no, we can't do that because blah 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 blah. Why the hell not? You're making Wolfenstein into Doom. So, but, I don't know. I just feel like my creativity, my ideas are just not really wanted or warranted or whatever, so if you guys don't want to play them, that's fine, but why would I bother uploading them in the first place if you guys don't want to do that? So, these are the questions I'm asking myself right now. Anyway, I hope you have a good day. I'm going to get something to eat, or soda, or something. I have to figure something out. But I got to cheer myself up. So, have a good day, or not. Have a lousy day. Whatever. That's completely up to you. It's your decision. Have a good one.